Okay, this is the algebra part of this angle relationships lesson. So it's based on what I did in the last one was lesson, which was these relationships: vertical angles, which are congruent; a linear pair, which are angles that are share the same side, which is called adjacent, and they add up to be 180 degrees because they make a straight line, or what's called a straight angle. We have two angles that are adjacent, which means they share the same side. Complementary angles, which add up to be 90, and supplementary angles, which add up to be 180. Okay, so that's what we're going to go with when we do these. Okay, so the problem number one, these are considered vertical angles. These are the angles that are across from each other, and again, this is based on the last lesson. So if this is 112, then this one has to be 112 because of vertical angles, and vertical angles are always equal. All right, so when I go to do number two here, I have this little 90-degree angle mark, or right angle mark here, which means it's 90 degrees. And I know one of my angles is 68, so this has to be the rest of the 90. So I just do 90 minus 68, which is 22. So 22 is equal to x. Okay, on this one, this is called a linear pair. Again, the straight line means that if I were to add a protractor, again, we talked about that in the last lesson, that's 180 degrees, and this one is 124. All I have to do is take 180 degrees, subtract 124, which is 56, and that's 56 degrees. Again, a lot of these might not be drawn to scale, so just be careful. All right, so on this one, I've got a lot of variables defined here. So I know this is all about vertical angles for the most part. So I know that y is 43 degrees. Okay, so I can mark this 43. And I also know that x and z are the same size, so all I have to do is figure out what x is. And all I have to do on that one is take these as what's called a linear pair. I know they add up to be 180 degrees, so I just have to figure out what's left of the 180 degrees when I take away 43. So let's do that. And that'll leave me with 137. So x is 137. Now, since x and z are vertical angles, that means they're equal. Z is also 137 degrees. That's it with this one. You can see the pictures are getting a little bit more complicated. All right, so now I've got x and y, which are a linear pair, so I know they add up to be 180 degrees. I know I got a 90-degree angle in here. I've got z, and then I've got 72. Well, I know if I lay a protractor down on any straight line, I know that this adds up to be 180 degrees. Well, 90 of it's sitting here, so the other two pieces here have to add up to be 90. So these two add up to be 90. So I'm going to do 90 minus 72. That's, 18? So I know z is 18. All right. I also have to figure out what x and y are. Well, I know y is a vertical angle with the 72, so I know y is 72. Okay, if y is 72 and these guys too make a linear pair, which means they're supplementary, which means they add to be 180, this is 180 minus 72, so this is 108. This is 108. The other way you could do it too is these two add up to be, same thing, you could do this, these two add up to be 180 degrees, and this is 72, so that's still 180. Okay? All right, number 6. Angles 1 and 2 are vertical angles. If the measure of 2 is 105, find the measure of angle 1. Again, vertical angles means they're equal or congruent. So if angle 2 is 105, then angle 1 is also 105. It's the same instance as number 1 here. Same idea, just different numbers. Okay, number 7. A and B are complementary. Okay, so complementary means they add up to be 90. If the measure of angle A is 42, the measure of angle B has to be the rest of it. So 90 minus 42 is 48. So angle B equals 48. Again, I put a little m here because that means the measure of, so I can write the math. Okay. All right, number 8. P and Q are supplementary angles, so same idea except they had to be 180 instead of 90. So same idea. We do 180 minus 64, which is 116. So the measure of angle P is 116 degrees. And the last one, angle 1 and angle 2 form a linear pair. So again, a linear pair looks like this. Okay, here's angle 1, here's angle 2. And they tell me the angle 1's 113. So we know that a linear pair, their non-shared side, which is this, makes a straight line or a straight angle. So that's 180 degrees. So all I have to do is find out the rest of it, which is 67. So angle 2 is 67 degrees. Now, that's when we have all these, we have all these numbers. Now when we do the algebra, it's the same idea, except now we have to solve first, and maybe I have to find x, maybe I have to find an angle. It all depends on what I'm asked to find. You, again, pay attention to what you're looking for. So I'm going to start off with, I'm going to do all the odd numbers. So I'm going to start off with 11. So I'm looking for the measure of DCE. Okay, so I'm looking for that one right there, DCE. All right, so I know that A, and again, I want to mark my picture just to make sure I've got all the information I need. So AB and CD are perpendicular, which means they meet at a 90-degree angle. So I can put new 90s here just in case I need the 90 on either side. DCE, so inside I'm going to put in 7x plus 2. And ECB, that's this guy, ECB. Again, the letters follow it with your eyes, and you remember the middle letter is your vertex, so ECB. So squeezed in here is x plus 8. All right, so I know that looking at this 90-degree symbol here, that these two angles here have to add to be 90. So there's my math: 7x plus 2 plus 8 plus x plus 8 equals 90. Combining like terms, we get 8x plus 16 equals 90. 8x equals, what is that, 74? And then divide by 8 gives me a decimal? Is that true? Let's see. Let me make sure. Why do I have 16? I must be really tired today. Alright, so this should be 80. And then 80 divided by 8, that's 10. Alright, that seemed like that was a really wacko number, so I knew something was up. Alright, now I want to find DCE. So DCE is this part right here, so all I have to put in is 7 times 10 plus 2. So 72 degrees is the answer to this problem. Alright, let's do number 13. Alright, number 13. Alright, DE, I'm trying to find, okay, so all I have to do is find variables, it looks like. I just have to find x and y. Alright, okay, so I've got DEG, that's this bend right here, DEG, this is 5x minus 4. GEF is 7x minus 8. DEH is 9y plus 5. And find x and y. Alright, so what I got going on here that I can use the same letters and do an equation. I don't want to do verticals, which is what these two are, because this has got y's and this has have x's, and I don't want to mix variables when I'm trying to solve. So I'm going to try to use these two, and I know that these two are a linear pair, so they are supplementary, which means they add up to be 180. So I'm going to do that first. Okay, again, knowing that vocabulary. So you really need to know this sheet down pat. So this is the idea kind of doing right here. Angle 1 and angle 2 are 180. You can see it right here. Kind of same idea I was just doing, except it was going the other direction, but you get the idea. All right, so I clean this up. I got 12x minus 12 equals 180. Add 12. 12x equals 192. Divide by 12. Ooh, what is that? 192, 12 is... x is equal to 16? 16, I think. Let's see, yeah. Okay, so x is 16, so I'm done with 1. Now, I know I got to use this. Now I can do verticals, because now I know what x is. So let me figure out what 7x minus 8 is, with the new 16 in here. Let's see, this is 112? 112 minus 8, so this is 104. Alright, so this guy right over here is 104 now, which means this 9y plus 5 is equal to 104. Okay, so 9y plus 5 equals 104. This is a great question for SATs. They love to do questions like these because it mixes the variables. Alright, so y is equal to 11 when I do the math. And now I've got the two variables. Alright, 15. Now 15 is a little, these get a little bit tougher only because I don't have pictures. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. Alright, P and Q are supplementary. If angle P is 4x plus 1, angle Q is 9x minus 3, find Q. Alright, so just for the sake of space, I'm just going to make a linear pair. It's easier that way. I know they're supplementary. I'm just going to add these in. I have no idea if this is accurate in any way. This could be the smaller angle, and this could be the bigger angle. I'm just labeling it because it allows me to kind of look at what I'm doing. So I know since they're supplementary, I'm going to add them together and equal it to 180. Okay, so that's 13x minus 2 equals 180. Add 2 to both sides. That does not seem like it's going to give me a nice, neat, pretty answer, but we'll see. 13x equals 182. Divide by 13. This math is getting rougher and rougher for my brain. Let's see. 182 divided by 13 is 14. Okay, so x is 14. All right, and it says find Q, and of course I don't have any of this labeled, so I should not have drawn it like this because P and Q are one letter, so I really shouldn't have done it this way. I should have had it's two separates. That's a bad one on me. This should have been P, and this should have been Q. I shouldn't have put it as one big piece, but it's too late. Because they're not sharing a side at all, so I should have just labeled it like this. But anyway, doesn't matter. So I use this as P. I use this one as Q. So I'm going to put the 14 in here. So 14, I don't have any space here, but 14 times the 9 minus 3. So let's use my calculator here. 9 times 14 minus 3 looks like 123. So 123 is my answer for that one. All right. Number 17, J and K are complementary. The measure of J is 18 less than the measure of K. Find the measures of each angle. All right, I'm not going to draw a picture for this one. I'm just going to say, okay, so I know that the measure of angle J plus the measure of angle K equals 90 because it's complementary. All right, so it says here the measure of angle J is 18 less than the measure of angle K. So let's make angle K x. So if that's true, J is 18 less than that. So I'm going to put x minus 18. 18 less than K, and K I made as the letter x. So this one's a pretty tough one because you have to make your own variables. I guess I could have just used the letter K instead of the variable x, but I didn't do it that way. So again, a lot of times when you do these word problems, the best thing you could do is go to the very end of the thing that describes everything and always make the last thing listed as the variable, because then you can always write one thing in respect to the letter that you chose. I don't know if that made any sense, but that's the trick. All right, divided by 2. So x is equal to 104. It says find the measure of each angle. So one of them's 100. Can't be 104. 18 less than measure 2x minus 18, 108, 100. Oh, I forgot to divide. Wow, it's been a long day. Okay, this should have been 54, not 104. 54. I knew that was wrong because they're supposed to add up to be 90, and if one of my angles is already 104, I'm in trouble. So it's 54 because I forgot to divide by 2. All right, so when I divide by 2, I get 54. Since one of them's 54 and the other one's 90, the other one is going to equal 90 with the 54. I'm going to subtract those and get 36. That's my other angle. So one is 54 and the other one is 36. If I have to say, wow, specifically, J is 36 and K is 54. You can tell I'm doing this kind of quickly today. I apologize. I don't have a lot of time. I'm trying to squeeze this video in for today in case anyone needs it. All right, so I'm going to do number 19. 19 is my last one. Okay, we have the word bisect. Remember, bisect means it cuts in two. So MO is doing that. So we know that this angle here and this angle here are the same size because bisectors cut things in two. So let's see, we have a PMN is 74. So all of this angle is 74. OMN, that's this guy, this little guy here, is 2x plus 7. They want me to find x. Alright, that's actually has nothing to do with this lesson, so it's kind of weird they put that in. But alright, so let's do it. So we know if this bisects and I have 2x plus 7 here, I actually have another 2x plus 7 there because they are the same size. So I could do it like this. 2 times 2x plus 7 equals 74. Okay? Alright, so then I distribute. Subtract. And then divide. So x is 15, and that's all I had to do. So I am done with that. That's not sure why they threw that question in there, because it has nothing to do with any of our special angles at all. I think this to me looks like a review from an earlier lesson. We're done. Okay, good luck on the classwork.